On today's episode, we're starting our new series called What the Fork Am I Gonna Do with Blake? If your garden's like ours, this time of year it's overproducing and you've got a lot of things to use. So in this case, we got jalapenos. We also have some peaches from the farmer's market we picked up a bushel of.
Hey Dad, what are you making?
We're going to make some shrimp tacos with peach and jalapeno salsa and a spicy jalapeno crema. Let's get started. So first, we want to go ahead and slice up these jalapenos. My family doesn't like it too hot, so I go ahead and I destem and then I take out the seeds and the pith there to make sure that we don't have as much heat. Then what we do is we chop those all up, clean up the board, be very careful. You'll see I'm wearing gloves because I really don't want to get too much of this jalapeno juice on my hands. Don't want that stuff in your eyes. But I go ahead and I slice it up really thinly, and then we're going to go ahead and mince it a little bit further too. So in this case, I'm going to use 3 to 4 jalapenos and put that aside into a bowl, and then we're going to use it in both our crema as well as our salsa. So I'm going to start making the crema. Here we go with some sour cream. We want about a cup of that, and then we can put that into a mason jar, which we're going to use to actually immersion blend. So then I put some cilantro and then some lime in. We want about 1 whole lime and then about a 1/4 cup of cilantro here. Then we go ahead and smash up some garlic, and then we mince that just a little bit. We don't need to cut it up too much because the immersion blender will take care of most of it. Once it's all minced up, go ahead and put that into the jar. Then we're going to go ahead and salt this a little bit. Next, we're going to bring some of that jalapeno in. So I'm taking about half of the 3 jalapenos and putting that in here. Again, you can add more or less if you'd like, depending on the spice level that you're going for. Go ahead and blend that up. You can also do this in just a regular blender if you don't have an immersion blender as well. It's just a lot easier this way. It keeps it really nice and clean. Remember when I said that our garden was overproducing? Look at all those veggies ready to be used off to the side there. Give it a taste for salt and any other seasonings you may want to add. I think we might need just a little bit more salt. Alright, let's go ahead and clean up the cutting board. Next, we're going to make the peach salsa. We're going to go ahead and slice these, and then we're going to put them into a small dice that we can make into the salsa. Next, I'm going to take a 1/4 of a red onion. Hey Archie. Then what we're going to do is just slice that up really finely into small little dices and put that into the peaches. Then again, we want about a 1/4 of a cup of cilantro here, both the stems and the leaves. We'll juice about half of a lime in here. We may want to add a little bit more after we taste it, but start with just the half. Alright, give it a mix. And then what we're going to do is go ahead and add a little bit of the salt in. I want to add a little bit more texture and crunch to the tacos. So we're going to take some red cabbage and slice that up. We're also going to slice up an avocado. I want to use this as just a little bit of a garnish on top of the taco as well. Now let's start working our shrimp. Here I've got some large shrimp. They're 16 to 30 in size, so they're pretty big. We want to go ahead and peel these and make sure they're deveined as well. Then we can go ahead and start adding some spices to it. I'm going to start with a little bit of taco seasoning from our friends at Penzi's. Love this stuff. And next we're going to do a little bit of chili powder. We want maybe about a teaspoon there. And we're going to do some cumin. Same thing. We want about another teaspoon of this. Next, we're going to go ahead and add just a little bit of cayenne pepper. We don't want too much. You can add a little bit more if you want some extra spice, but this is going to kick it up a notch. Lastly, we're going to go ahead and add some paprika, about a teaspoon, and then we're going to add about also another teaspoon of garlic powder here. Then give it a little bit of olive oil, probably about a tablespoon. Alright, we want some fresh cracked pepper. You want about a teaspoon here. Then go ahead and give it just a little bit more salt. And then what we're going to want to do is put a little bit of lime in here. You want to do this last, just before you go ahead and mix it up and get it ready for the grill. You don't want it to be on there too long, otherwise it will start to cook it almost like a ceviche. Give it a stir, and then let's go ahead and get out to the grill. Alright, now we go ahead and use my Blackstone. Then we're going to put down about a tablespoon or two of olive oil. I've got the Blackstone here about medium-high heat. They're going to cook really quickly, so we want to make sure that we put these shrimp down pretty fast and make sure that we watch them carefully. So get them down, and you'll start to see they're going to start to curl almost immediately. So in this case, let's go ahead and just get them all down there and then flip them after about a minute or two. You'll see there's some nice browning and some nice caramelization there too. But again, we only want to flip it and let them go for another 30 or 40 seconds. They should be all done. Go ahead and clean up your grill. We're going to want this nice and clean because we're going to put down our tortillas. Today I'm using corn tortillas, which we're going to go ahead and toast up just a little bit here. So put them down on the grill and then let them get a little bit brown but not too crispy. Alright, let's bring them inside and let's go ahead and start assembling our tacos. I'm going to start with one here and put down 2 taco shells. Next, we're going to do a little bit of that red cabbage, and we're going to add 1 and then maybe 2 big shrimp here. You'll notice they take up a lot of space. Then put down some of those avocado dices. You'll add just a few here, not too many, but if you need to break it up a little bit more like I'm doing here, you can make sure that it isn't falling off the taco. Then put a little bit of that peach salsa right on top. Next, I spoon a little bit of that jalapeno crema on top, just over all the taco. And lastly, we're going to put a little bit of cilantro on top. And if you'd like to, you can also garnish with a little bit of lime on the side if they want to add just a little bit more acid. Doesn't that look tasty? Alright, I'm going to plate up a couple more of these for the family. And then, let's get to eating. Doesn't that look great? Hope you enjoy.